I found the
Okay.
button this time.
Hi, I know. Hi, everyone. Okay. I guess I'll do introductions because it's my book this month. We are
Mhm.
super excited to announce we have a special guest, very special guest, Julie Soto on our podcast. Woo!
Woohoo!
She
Yay! That was
is
Julie cheering for herself.
We love it.
Mhm.
Please.
her own hype woman.
Yes.
She's going to be talking to us about her new book, Not Another Love Song. Woohoo! Yay! Welcome.
Yay. Thank
So
you. Thanks for
exciting.
having me. We were just saying it's been like a year and a half
Mhm.
since I was last on the podcast. So I'm real excited to be back with my girls.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. So,
Mhm.
okay, can you?
You are. You're doing
Yes.
amazing.
I just lifted my mug and showed it to everyone. It says, "You're doing great, bitch."
You are your own hype woman. I love it.
Yeah.
I
Who
love it.
needs, yeah.
You gotta be sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't need a man.
I don't need
Oh,
no
never.
man.
No.
Okay, can you give us a 30-second summary of
Yeah.
Not Another Love Song? I'm
I
time.
mean, will I? Yes. Can I? Probably not. Um, all right. Not Another Love Song is about two rival musicians in a New York orchestra who are kind of fighting over the same promotion in a way, but it's also just so much more than that. So it's rivals to lovers and found family
Mhm.
and spicy times with the cello. And I think I think that covers it.
Yeah, a little enemies to lovers thrown in, of
Yeah.
course. I think
Yeah.
it kind of
I'm
falls under
always I'm
rivals.
always enemies to lovers, but like, some people are like, can we get back to the true form of enemies to lovers? If it's rivals to lovers, then just
Mhm.
call it rivals to lovers. And I'm like, I'm
Um,
with you, girl, but I'm down for any opposites attract, and I
Yeah.
right,
don't like you at the top, so
right.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
so I've
It's like
started
a
saying rivals to lovers.
subgenre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yes. That was great. And
Thanks.
I think it was under 30 seconds. Who
I
knows?
think so. I barely grazed the surface, but this is actually yesterday was my very first podcast interview on Not Another Love Song. So you guys are my second. And
Mm.
it's like for Forget Me Not, back in like 6 months prior to publication, I was like having to like film videos for my publisher so that they could like present them at a sales conference. And like I was I was like so I had that elevator pitch so down packed. Like I was like it like I had to like the video had to be under a minute and I had to introduce myself and the book in that time and like also not like cut away. So it's like I spend an hour trying to get this minute of material and tears were involved. And but like I haven't had to do any of that for Not Another Love Song. So it's really funny to try to like figure out like yeah what is this book about what's
Hmm.
what do
Mhm.
I hit and then what like little spoilers do I stay away from but
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
Well, that
you
was
got to get
great.
that down.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was the process of writing this book different from Forget Me Not, your
Yeah,
first?
this book, so Not Another Love Song, was a Raylo fan fiction. And Forget Me Not was not. It was I started writing like a chapter of it as a Raylo fan fiction and never posted it and said, hold on,
Mhm.
this can be a whole book. Um so whereas this one was fully posted on AO3 and and a healthy number of people read it.
Hmm.
But so this was truly a like t take it down and revise and like
Mhm.
multiple drafts and multiple rejections too, because this was also the book that I used to query to find an agent. So I got this book was rejected like 50 times by the time I signed with my agent. And that's not uncommon, but it is hard to kind of go back and open up that wound again. So because what happened is I got my agent and then she went on maternity leave and I said, well, let me try writing this florist wedding planner book. And when she came back from maternity leave, we decided that was the stronger one because more people have been to a wedding than have played at an orchestra. So it's easier to, this is not another love song's a perfect book too, because then it's like there's an established reader base. Instead of like, I don't know this author, I don't play the cello.
Yeah.
So this process was very different than Forget Me Not because Forget Me Not was original characters. It was like the second book I wrote featuring all original characters and even like, still Kylo Ren and Rey inspired characters and situations, but from scratch still. So whereas Not Another Love Song had to be opened back up and like re-gutted like several times. And it's still so funny thinking of what scenes have firmly made it from the fic all the way to the original and what scenes were added like so last minute and that are, my favorites, still my favorites. So it was a lot. I had so much feedback on this book over the years, and I didn't start believing that it was gonna be good and like I won't even call it a success because we don't know that, but I didn't start believing that it was going to be well received until the NetGalley 24-hour approval day, which was on April 1st. My publisher auto approved anyone who applied for the galley on NetGalley. So like starting to hear that feedback in April that people were liking it, that was like the first time I believed that it would possibly be well received because it had been so many years of opening it up and slicing at it and being told that it wasn't good enough and just that the whole publication rejection thing, which I didn't have a lot of with Forget Me Not because that book came so easily.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I guess the next question was going to be like, who kind of inspired Gwen and Xander? And obviously it's, Ray and Ben, but were there other traits that you kind of pulled from other people or pulled from yourself to kind of implement into them?
I mean, I have never played violin or cello, but I do know a thing or two about children in the arts, because I've been in theater my whole life and I helped run a children's theater company for a long time. So I know about stage moms and the good and the bad stage moms, because there's some really great stage moms. It's just they're all roped in and called stage moms. And kind of the external pressures that turn into internal pressures that a lot of there's so many jokes about millennials having the what's it like the when you were on the honor roll as a kid but now you can't call your doctor's office without having a panic attack.
But for real, if you use the phone at all,
no, exactly. It's like when you could ace the spelling bee in front of a crowd of 10,000 but now you're like, hi, I have a fever. Can I please have some medication? um so that kind of that comes with the jokes about the millennial overachiever kids. But so I think a lot of the relationship to the arts and music and things like that I took from my own experiences, and it was just fun to kind of like pull back into things like what's the rehearsal room like and like how often do orchestras rehearse per week, and like my God, aren't they like perfect musicians? What do they have to rehearse? It's and just kind of figuring out like what goes on it rehearsals and but still falling back into like there's a rehearsal assistant and they have to give breaks per the union and they have to, and just all of these things that I'm very familiar with from theater. So I think the aspect of the performance and young people in the arts that either grow away from their passion, like Alex did, or are still fighting into their mid-20s for their passion, like Gwen did. That's definitely something that I hold from myself.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, and then you kind of leaned into the next question, which was like, how much research did you have to do into like string instruments, orchestras, like everything having to do with music, I guess, since
because
you play an instrument.
You sound like the book, because I'm halfway done with it now. You sound like an expert in it. Like you, like to me, it's somebody who plays these instruments. So it's incredible to me.
Yeah, thank you. I've written for music and I've sung my entire life. I've sung with orchestras. So there are certain aspects that I was just familiar with on a very intrinsic level. But it was funny. Every time I would open up the book to edit it, before I would send it to someone important, whether that was editing to start sending to agents or editing to give to my editor now, because my editors for traditional publishing, they bought 2 books from me based on Forget Me Not. So so I had to like I have this finished book called, and it wasn't called Not Another Love Song, but I have this finished book about rival musicians, and that I had to like write up a pitch and be like, do you want it? So it's like I had to then turn in that book brand new and be ready for them to open it up and slice at it again. But every single time I was like preparing to like send it off somewhere important, I'd be like, I should double check that this is correct. Did I just make this up? And like, is this actually the right Beethoven song that I want to reference? And like, I surprised myself with how invested I was in getting things right for the fanfic, because some stuff that started on AO3 was correct. And
love it.
And like, it's like I wasn't willy-nilly with some of the facts and the things. And I think I had feedback from AO3 saying like, I'm a violinist and you must play because this is so good, whatever. I'm like, it's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. And so but I really surprise myself sometimes. I'm like, hey, I did research this right. Look at me go,
Well,
and
I think that goes to like just your like thoroughness, kind of going back to like fan fiction, but like even like with the auction or whatever, like I feel like that's why people, besides just your writing, like liked your storytelling, is because it seems so in depth and like just being like, oh, Hermione's, parents were, or whatever, like you were very thoughtful in like the depth of your stories and being like, oh, Draco lived in York or whatever that
seems
like
he lived here, so this was how he would travel there. And
it makes sense that that it was also like that with your your Raylo story as well.
There's just like a lot of depth in your storytelling. It's that's why I like it so much.
Thank you. I had a professor in college in theater. I was taking a directing class, and this has always stuck with me. He said he was directing You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, which has 6 characters. It's, Charlie Brown, Linus, Lucy, 6 characters. So there's only going to be 6 actors on stage. And and all he was going to do was like use different colored blocks, which by the way, this isn't like normally just children. Like this is adults playing for children and white audiences. But So he was just going to use like he was just going to use brightly colored blocks. And his set designer said, so 6 of them. And he says, no, give me 5 so that I will never have a scene where every single actor is just on a block. Like, like I will create a limitation so that when I'm blocking the scenes, I can't do what's easy. And that's always stuck with me with just doing research. And like the easy thing would be to be like, well, yeah, an owl can reach Wiltshire from Hogwarts in like 30 minutes, right? Like we can go that fast. But like figuring out, oh, actually, unless you create some kind of magical portal that owls can go through, then like it's going to take much longer for an owl to fly without stopping. And it's just, by the way, forgive me for Wiltshire. I'm pretty sure it's Wiltshire.
You're American.
Yeah, Wiltshire. So it's like those things were important to me back in fan fiction days, is just like, gosh, well, let me fill out these like 6 hours of waiting for this owl then, because heaven forbid we pretend that it can get there faster.
Yeah. And like thinking about those types of things, like, it just like adds more to the story and makes your readers like more invested.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your favorite musician / artist, band, group? You don't obviously have one. But.
Yeah. Well, we love Taylor Swift, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
I'm seeing her 3 times this year. I'm very excited.
I'm so jealous. We got to see her once, and we were at a rain show, and it was still amazing.
Oh my God. That would be so like I went to Disneyland in the rain one day, and we just like committed. It was actually during the hurricane of Southern California last year in August.
The rainstorm.
The rainstorm. Yeah, they're like, we're gonna have a hurricane. And like no one went to Disneyland, and me and Allie Hazelwood and our friend Katie were like, fuck that.
We're going.
I'm like, buy a poncho. And so but the best part of it is like, it's kind of miserable and it's very humid. But then once you realize that it's wet outside the poncho and it's wet inside the poncho, then it's like, we're just wet. The day is wet. So that's what I imagine a Taylor Swift rain show would be like.
That's 100%.
Except that everything is wet and it's not great, but eventually it's just water.
Yeah. Fine. We'll be okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That was I'll always give you a Disneyland tangent. But and then so okay, love Taylor. So it's funny, I grew up listening to musical theater, so I always have a hard time catching on to who popular artists are and like what they're like. There's several like very popular artists who I could not give you a song title. Like I'm like, oh yeah, well I know who they are, of course. And like if their song came on the radio, I'd be like, oh, that's so and so, but I could not name you or hum you a bar. So at least for specifically researching for Not Another Love Song and even back writing the fic, I was listening to Two Cellos, which is a 2-person electric cello band, which a lot of Thorn and Roses is based off of. And they're just so hot. And they are they've recently split up, I think amicably. And Hauser is the cellist who's kind of furthering his like rock concert tours. He's like touring the US for the first time. And of course, I'm not able to go to a single show, but we'll see. Like, after the Not Another Love Song tour and stuff, I might figure out how to just fly somewhere for a night, because it's like, he means so much to me, and he's just so sexy. So definitely Two Cellos, and those are definitely the artists that help fill out my my book. And Joshua Bell features a lot in the book as just someone that Alex looks up to. And I've seen him several times with the Academy of St. Martin's in the Field, where when they come through the US to tour. And it's just a joy. He's just it's not uncommon, I suppose, because it used to be very common, but he is the first chair violinist and he is also the conductor of that orchestra. So there is no conductor, he is the conductor. And he is also the violin soloist and the first chair. So it's just a fascinating thing. And it was funny, that came to me so late in the editing and re-editing of like, oh, this is actually, there's like a precedent for Alex to be so like arrogant to think that he could grab for something like that. You know, like it's not like a weird thing where it's like, oh, this girl who doesn't play violin thinks that in this day and age, a violinist could be a conductor of an orchestra. And, you know, it's like, oh no, there's actually Joshua Bell is resetting a precedent.
That's very cool.
This is so random, but I know you like musical theater. Are you so pumped that Wicked's finally going to be coming out?
Oh my God. So it's like, I kind of like felt little about it, you know. It's like, I'm sure like they've been talking about a Wicked movie for like 20 years. Like Kristen Bell was in the talks to play Glinda for a while. Leah Michelle was in the talks to play Elphaba. And I was like, back, you know, 10 years ago, I was like, that's a good cast, you know. But and so when I heard they were officially moving forward, I was like, okay, I trust John Chu, that's great. And then when they cast Cynthia, I was like, oh, this great, excellent. We're doing grand. And then I'm just absolutely obsessed with Jonathan Bailey. So that's truly the true reason why I'm losing my shit. So
so much.
Yeah.
He is everything to me right now. His like his like little blips when he's in Bridgerton in the new season. I'm
God.
like, there he is. Lilac, my husband.
I need someone to like, I'm not smart enough. I need someone to cut out just him saying, "Forget me not," and like, so I can like post it, place, you know, just like just post it to my stories every now and then. But I don't know how to, because like everyone of course thinks the lilacs bit is funnier as it is, but I'm just like, no, someone just give me forget me not.
Forget me not.
Yeah.
Okay. Ashley, Stacey, do you have any more questions? Anything else you want to ask before we get to the game?
Yeah, I do. I was curious, since the last time you were on, Forget Me Not hadn't came out yet. Yes, I had not. How has life changed since Forget Me Not has come out? Because it's just such an incredible book, and it's amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been good. You know, the main thing that's different is learning how to control my schedule and time commitments and things. I have a lot more projects coming down the pipe. Is that the phrase I want to say? Coming down the pipe. I have a lot more projects coming up, and so it's kind of like I'm still so in the mode of like, I want to say yes to everything, in terms of like, you know, the Toledo Public Library reached out and we're like, do you want to come be a part of Romance Con? It's going to be in November. And I'm like, sure, you know, like, and it's like, that's nowhere near my tour, you know, like my tour is during the summer, but like, of course I want to keep the party going into the fall. And so it's like saying yes to all these little, you know, pop-ups and small bits. And so I had a lot of that last fall with Forget Me Not. And some of it comes from friends' books coming out, like Allie Hazelwood's Check and Mate came out last October, November, first week of November. And so did a lot of like tour stops with her. Like I went with her to Seattle. I went with her to New York just for funsies, not even to do anything for me. So it's like I had all these extra things that is still doing work, but it's not the doing work of writing and editing books. So it's kind of the, you know, or like there'll be some days where I have to spend like 4 hours on social media, either putting together a TikTok or responding to things, or just like there's some conversation happening in DMs that you can't leave, you know, one of those days you're like, what's the update? And like I'm on, and that's all still work. Or like I'm building a newsletter to send out. It's all still work, but I'll feel at the end of the day like I did nothing because I didn't write a word of my book. So that's been the biggest change from the pre-forget-me-not to post-forget-me-not like this.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's like hindered like your writing, or like you're not in as much of a creative space, I guess?
Yeah, it really can. The biggest thing is that I have had to kind of realize like there is no vacation unless you want to take one. Like I can go with friends to like I'm going to Amsterdam to see Taylor.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna be there for like 7 days, and I don't like I could fully just like not bring my laptop and be like, this is a vacation, but like I don't want to, like that's terrifying to me. The idea that like something could come in on day one and I'd need to have a laptop in order to do work on it, you know. So it's just it's only a hindrance if I don't know, it's a hindrance to like a normal life more so than my writing. Like I don't, if I want to take a vacation, I should take one. But at the same time, like I can ride on planes. I can wake up early in the morning at the hotel with my friends and go downstairs and do work. And that's things that I have been doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you said you've been working on a lot of projects. Does that mean a book 3 is coming out?
It does. So this episode will air in July, you said, right? July 16th.
Yeah.
Great. Yes. So by then we will know. So I'll tell you that I am writing a 3-book romantasy trilogy.
I'm gonna freak out. Sorry.
Jaws are on the floor.
I'm adapting the auction.
I am gonna freak out. Oh my God.
What?
That was so fun to watch. That was so fun to watch the 3 of you like it was like a roll of like emotions.
You don't even understand, because Stacy bound me all of your books, but I have a special bookcase. It's like, I'm looking at it right here. It's like behind glass, and your books are right there. It's like in the special bookcase. I'm freaking out. Stacy's crying. So.
I got tears. I'm a very emotional person.
Yeah.
I feel so like honored that you told us.
I know. Well, it'll be, you have to, we're posting about it this coming Thursday from when we're recording this. So and I'll DM you if something happens, and I'm like, hold on, we're not announcing till August.
Okay. Cut it.
Edit.
Flip it.
Yeah, but
cut it out.
I know, I'm really excited. I've been holding on to this for like 9 months at this point. If not longer. So book 1's coming out July 2025, and we're going to try to do less than a book a year. So just a little bit quicker than yearly. But so I have that, and then my next romance won't be until 2026. And then I'm also this is going to be a news, but I'm also writing young adult thrillers. So that won't be announced until after the podcast, but so I'll just keep it vague. You don't have to cut it.
How exciting.
So is
that's
that going to
so
be like
much stuff? That's so exciting.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Stacy's like, wait. I'm realizing why you have to bring a laptop to Amsterdam.
Everywhere.
She's like, I'm processing.
Yeah.
So like in between the 3-book release, you're simultaneously releasing young adult books.
2026 could possibly be a 4-book year, depending on how quickly the fantasies come out. Yeah. More than likely a 3-book year, but we'll just have to see. But definitely 3 books. Yeah. So it's kind of exciting. 2025 is going to be a 2-book year. And you know what? The funny thing is like I have been, I've been doing press for Forget Me Not now for press, like I'm talking to the freaking Hollywood Reporter. I have been doing marketing. Yeah, it's you guys. For Forget Me Not for like 11 months now. And I have like someone, like I'll do events with Allie and like watch like people bring up 6 of her books and like plus special editions. So sometimes people walk up with 10 and for her to sign. And like and it's just like wild that she started publishing in 2021 and she has this much of a backlist. And so it's kind of like it's kind of it's kind of a good thing. I know, gotta catch them all. It's kind of a good thing though too to start to build a backlist if you have the time and creative energy to do so, just because there's a phrase in publishing that your front list sells your backlist. So someone may read my YA thriller next year and then say, what else has she written? And then suddenly Forget Me Not has more sales, and and then it's like that type of thing. So it's like people, it's more fun to have someone like discover you for the first time and then get to read like 3 things. Like fanfic, it's the same thing where you discover a new fanfic writer and you're like, let me read everything on this person's page. I was guilty of that for sure.
Same.
So
still am.
Yeah. I love even when they're doing like a random pairing that I don't like, and I'm like, fine.
I guess I'll read it.
It's like, I have to read it. God, I hate this.
I'll suffer through.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. It's been a lot so far, and like I said, kind of what I think Chanel asked it, right? Like, is it affecting my creative? One of you did. Just like, it's kind of just finding where like the boundaries of things live, and like some friends want me to go to Japan with them in 2025 to go to Celebration in Japan, and I'm like, sounds like a blast. I don't have a lot of interest, and I don't think I have a lot of time.
And it's like in for you.
Exactly. I'm like, I think I have to live with the FOMO more if depending on when things are. I know a group of my friends are going this week for Christina Lauren's Tangled book that comes out this week. They're going to a Nashville event that Allie's hosting for them, and I'm like, I'm prepping for Amsterdam. I can't take I can't take 3 days to like not be, it's like I'm getting my lashes done, I'm getting my nails done, I'm getting my hair done. I have to do all these things because I'll be out of the country for a long period of time before my own book tour. So it's like
you're
having
all
to say no. I'm all booked. I'm booked and blessed.
That's right.
Booked and blessed, as they say in the theater world. Booked and blessed.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Are you ready for a little game?
Yes. I forget the game though. You're going to have to remind me.
It's this or that. You have to pick.
Oh, that's great.
I've catered it. Last time we did a Harry Potter version, but this time this is gonna be a Julie Soto / musical version.
Oh, I love it. Good.
I've catered it a little bit to you. And again, Ashley and Stacy, you can chime in with your answers as well.
You know, I can't hold it in. I will be.
Okay. Violin, cello, or banjo? Which string instrument would you choose?
Banjo? What the heck, Chanel?
I mean, I thought maybe she would prefer the third option.
Maybe there's some Andrew Bernard fans in here from The Office. Yeah,
that's right. The Nard dog.
The Nard dog and his banjo skills. Yeah, definitely cello for me.
Yeah. Shoot, after that scene, I was reading that scene at work. I was like in the middle of a surgical case. And I was like, what am I reading?
Dude,
you're like, whoa.
So this is off topic, but I was reading Bride at work and I was getting to like the scene, and this is me at work trying to explain to these fellow people what nodding is. And so then I'm like reading this book and they keep talking to me and I'm like, stop talking to me, ruining this for me.
I need silence.
I need silence and I need to focus.
Well, I was reading the cello scene when I was getting a pedicure and I had to stop listening to it. I'm like, this is not the place to be listening to be reading this. But I would also pick the cello. I meant to tell you earlier, I'm a huge fan of two cellos. I've seen them live before and I have some of their albums.
Yes.
It's incredible. So cello all the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with violin just because I follow Lindsay Sterling. Is that who does
She's so good.
Yeah. That's just
I choose the banjo.
Of course. With Andrew Bernard. He's got to be attached to it.
You and the Nard
dog. Okay, how about Billie Eilish or Chappell Roan?
Oh.
So I have like just recently discovered Chappell Roan.
Yeah.
And that might be the first time I've figured out how to pronounce her name. But but I love Billie.
I know.
I'll choose Billie Eilish, but Chappell is I'm open to her becoming a new fave. How's that?
Yes. Listen to her like all the way through her new album. It's really good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Really good. You'll love it. Anyway. Go ahead.
I don't know who to pick either because Chappell Roan's new album is amazing, but Billie Eilish's new album is incredible too.
It's really good too. I know.
Billie is just a classic.
Yeah, classic.
My sister Katie sent me Billie's new album when it came out. And she's like, you have to listen to this. So we're still young. This is what all the youths are listening to. I was like,
yeah, please listen. Have the youths know. Yeah.
Yes, that we know it's cool.
Yeah, you millennial.
with our not middle part and crew socks, which I just learned that no one wears crew socks anymore except me. I guess I don't know.
Apparently, socks are the new way to tell how old you are. And I'm like, come on, leave me alone.
Let me wear my no-show socks in peace.
Exactly.
I knew I was old when I had to carry Tums with me because of the heartburn, guys.
Yes. Yeah. I did I organized a bachelorette party once and I bought everyone little care bags and I got the Tums that were this big, that come with like 10 Tums in it. And like, so it's like Tums, a little bit of gum, a little, things like that. But it was like the fact that the Tums were in there, we're all in our 30s and everyone was like, oh, thank God you gave Tums.
Thank God.
If I'm having Taco Bell, I need Tums, which
I need my Tums.
So. I just took some before we started. I was like, I gotta settle this stomach. Okay. Elliot or Xander?
Oh God.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you, I choose Elliot. I'm sorry. He's my OG baby. Even though I love Xander.
Yes. I think Elliot is the more well-rounded, perfect man.
Yes.
Xander is
an
asshole, and we love him for it.
Well,
he's our asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Elliot, but definitely coming back to like that Kylo Ren characterization of Xander was so fun for me to like come back to that.
I'm picking Xander.
Everyone's shocked. I picked Xander too.
You guys are so toxic. You're so toxic.
So
he's amazing.
You're so toxic. No, but it's like both sides of like it's like Ben Solo versus Kylo Ren. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I love it. It's amazing.
We love him. We love both.
Yeah, he's daddy.
Yeah, he's ours. I love him.
Okay. A wedding planner or first chair in a New York orchestra?
It's like they both sound so stressful to me.
Oh, you mean like as a job?
Yeah. Like yeah. I think I'd be a better I don't know.
I guess which is worse, which is better, whatever you want to choose.
Yeah. The more stressful job would be the wedding planner. I think I would be better at being first chair with my 0 violin experience.
Maybe that's more stressful.
Yeah. Hi, in a week you will be premiering as first chair, or in a week you will be planning a wedding. They're both pretty bad.
Yeah, I couldn't handle the stress, I don't think, of either. I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
Tacos or donuts?
Tacos.
Donuts.
I love sweet tacos. I love Mexican food.
Too.
Yeah. Well, I love sweets, but donuts aren't my first. Also, like donuts are a morning thing in my mind, at least. So like, but I can have cake for breakfast too, you know.
One of the best things to do is cake and coffee. I'm telling you, it's the best way to start your day.
Yeah.
It is. It's like so
if you want to take a nap at 11, it's the best way to start your day.
Which is how I would prefer to start every day.
That's the perfect day.
I love cake for breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay, how about a solo in Carnegie Hall being totally unprepared, or the person that you just hooked up with rejecting / ghosting you?
I'd rather be ghosted.
I'd rather be ghosted. Hey, I've been ghosted before. I can take it.
At least I got some dick last night. Like,
exactly. It's fine.
Would you pick
and you have to see them the next day at work.
Oh, I'll take the rom-com situation over like basically playing in your underwear, you know, like the nightmare of
there's some
not knowing your lines.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sacramento or New York City?
New York City. Yeah.
New York.
You're over the sack.
Yeah, right. I was just born and raised there, so it's it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter or Olivia Rodrigo?
That's really hard.
That is really hard. Me and Ashley literally just had this conversation like a week ago.
Yeah.
Well, who did you pick?
I picked Olivia Rodrigo when it came down to it.
I picked Sabrina
Carpenter girl. Yikes.
There's such a tie for me. Like I'm hot on Sabrina right now because she has the newer album. But whenever Olivia drops an album, I'm hot on her. So
yeah.
They're both so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, how about getting a DWI that ruins your world tour, or reinventing yourself from being a tween dance star with bows to becoming a gender ambiguous off-brand version of Kiss?
Chanel, where are you getting this?
This is gonna really hurt the tour, Chanel.
Both of them are gonna hurt the tour.
It had to be musical themed, so I was like, JoJo Siwa.
JoJo Siwa.
Let's go with JoJo Siwa. I'd hate for anything to ruin the tour.
God. So
The
funny.
memes from this tour thing are like
I know.
Just
some of them don't hit, but some of them do. Like people are just using like any kind of like two couples talking to each other, and I'm like, no. Give me something that actually ruined the world tour.
Right. The best is that Britney's song "Criminal" is like back on the charts.
Is it?
It's rising.
It's rising.
Oh my God.
Okay. Being bitten by a bat while on stage, or having someone throw something at you while on stage.
Who got bitten by a bat? What did I miss?
Taylor Momsen from
oh my God.
Gossip Girl. She was like on tour with her band, and she got bitten on the thigh.
Stop. Did
where was she performing at?
A cave.
She like quit acting to be like a singer with her band.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like in New York or something. I don't know, but a
lot of bats there. So
I know it was like random as F, but she had to have like a rabies shot.
She better. Yeah. I'd rather have things thrown at me than have a need to worry about rabies.
Same.
Okay, last one. Mike, Josh, or Zendaya?
Josh. It's all about Josh. I know. I adore him so much. Have you seen that he's obsessed with Ratatouille? He's obsessed. Like someone's asked him like, what's your favorite movie? And he said Ratatouille. It's the perfect movie. And then someone else like realized that was his favorite movie. And they said, how many times have you seen Ratatouille? This is like 2 weeks later. How many times have you seen Ratatouille? And he goes, 100. Oh, too many to count. Oh God!
I just watched it
over 100. Did you really? Oh no!
That's what he said.
Josh, he probably did. Yeah, exactly. It's he's obsessed with it, and it's even funnier because of the hot rodent boyfriend thing that's like going around. Like it's almost like all of it's been like twisted into one thing because Josh O'Connor likes Ratatouille.
I actually did watch Ratatouille last night.
I watched
it with Tobias with my son. He loved it. Actually was there.
He was there.
Someone said that they want him to play the I'm blanking on his name, the guy in like the live action version, and I'm like,
the human,
Linguini is right. You would know. Stacey would know.
She watched it last night.
I think it's Linguini. Which is hilarious. But
that would be incredible.
God, he'd be great. Can you imagine though? He'd say yes in a heartbeat. Like, oh God.
I'll do it for free.
For free.
It's my favorite movie.
Yeah. No, I adore him. I've adored him. I've adored Josh since Emma, the 2020 when he played Elton. Because I thought he was just hilarious. And then I really liked him in The Crown. I was like, hey, that guy, he's great. And now he's like embracing being a little slut, and I love it for him. He's just dirty little man whore, and I love it.
Yeah. Yes. And okay, last thing I just want to ask you is, who do you think won the match?
Well, that's the hard part, right? I think because like apparently according to tennis people, no one won. Like that was not the end of the game. Like according to tennis people, that was not a point or something. So but in general, I think I think Art won because that's what they all needed. Like that's the reason I love that movie.
That would have like solved everything or whatever.
The reason I love the movie is because it's the perfect example of you don't get what you want, but you get what you need. Every single one of them got what they needed at the end. Patrick just wanted Art back. Zendaya Tashi just wanted to watch some good fucking tennis.
A good game.
And Art needed a win. You know, he needed one more thing to be able to say, I'm gonna quit now.
I haven't heard that take. What I like quote unquote took away from it was that they all loved someone different, right? Like Tashi loved tennis. Art loved Tashi, and
Tashi, Patrick loved art.
Patrick loved art, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So that made like the perfect triangle, right?
Yeah, I love it.
But I like your take where you're like, they all got what they needed. What they really wanted. Ooh,
yeah.
See, that's why I love that movie, because it's like, sorry,
Yeah.
we're like totally.
I know. It's so good.
I love it.
It's so good. Yeah. Allie Hazelwood immediately went to AO3 as the credits rolled. It was great. She's like, tell me where the fics are. So there might be more now, but like, yeah, definitely.
There are probably so many.
I went to Tumblr. Good.
I know.
That's like, there's gonna be so many good.
I know.
I gotta go to AO3. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. This is great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you for having me on.
Week, month,
year.
Ashley, you want to start us off with some kudos? We can wrap this up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go first because it's obviously for you, Julie. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us, and thank you for sharing your incredible news. I'll be thinking about it forever. I can't stop smiling. I'm so excited for it and for you. And I just, I'm so happy every time I see your book everywhere, and you're just an incredible writer, and I will read anything that you write. So
thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Stace.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say the same thing. Thanks so much. Yeah, your news, just talking to us, it was great. It made my whole day.
Mind's blown.
My mind is blown.
I'm about to cry again.
I can't help it. But yeah, I'm where Ashley's about halfway through Not Another Love Song, which is funny because I just started like today. So I was just like, so thank you so much. I know you're so busy, even more busy than I knew. So
thank you.
Appreciate it.
No, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna piggyback off of that and say again.
Well, now you're peer pressured into it. You have to kudos me.
I know.
You have to.
Can I thank my dad? No, just
fine.
Yeah, no, seriously, we really appreciate it. Like, now that you're a huge star, we're coming back on the little podcast and talking with us.
Show.
Yeah.
No, I love you girls. I love kudos to you. And I'm glad that like it's hard to like keep a podcast consistent. So kudos to you, and you like rebranded too, and like and like did like you're still going strong 2 years later, and I think that's so hard to do these days because people get busier and find different interests and stuff. There's a baby on the screen.
Yes. Well,
so yeah, kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone listening.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Pick up Julie's book, Not Another Love Song, which comes out July 16th. And also her first book, Forget Me Not, of course. Grab that as well.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.